Despite social media getting really bearish all of a sudden out of nowhere for like a small move to 8,800, despite all that noise, the macro trend is still really the same as in my past videos. We're still consolidating. Nothing has really changed. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin Svensson, and today we're going to be talking about the price of Bitcoin. Over the past 2 months, Bitcoin has really not seen any price action at all. We've been seeing a lot of sideways action. And even in the past 24 hours, Bitcoin has also just been trading sideways, and most of the top cryptos have been following Bitcoin sideways. And before we get started, guys, definitely scroll down and click that like button. It helps out the channel a lot if you guys could hit that like button. Now let's get started on the video. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter, definitely follow me on Twitter. Last night I made a post where I layered the Bitcoin chart with the S&P chart since the beginning of 2020. And now taking a look at this image, what we can see is that generally Bitcoin has correlated very closely with the global markets. You know, I've been talking a lot about the Bitcoin stock market correlation, and I just want to explain this concept for some of you guys out there that might doubt this. A lot of people in the crypto market have been misled to believe that Bitcoin is a magical hedge against stocks, which obviously we now know is not true. What I said in this tweet was Satoshi designed Bitcoin to be a hedge against inflation. It was never meant to be a hedge against stocks. A decoupling is unlikely at any point because market activity is based on human behavior. Bitcoin was designed as a hedge against inflation. Percentage gains will always be higher than stocks. So because Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation, over time, the percentage gains will always be higher than the stock market. But it is not a hedge against the stock market movements, right? It's not a hedge against global market sentiment. Bitcoin is still being traded on human behavior, and human behavior is leading the price of Bitcoin. So until people change their human behavior, there will not be a decoupling. And I know that sounds very disappointing to all you guys out there, but I don't expect human behavior to magically change anytime soon. So I think we just have to deal with the fact that Bitcoin is generally correlated to the stock market. But the good thing is that the Federal Reserve is printing a ton of money right now. And this is propping up the stock market. And we are potentially creating a higher low here. This could help Bitcoin get this breakout that I'm looking for. Again, we haven't really seen all too much action recently. And to me, everything still looks fine. Everything still looks bullish. And Bitcoin is starting to find a little bit of support here, bouncing up to 9,170. Something that happened recently was Bitcoin saw a slightly lower low. We had that low here around 8,900, and we just found another low here around just below 8,900, around 8,830. And I noticed that a lot of people in the market got very bearish very quickly. They were freaking out, even though we've had very low volume. Actually, if we're looking at the weekly chart, Bitcoin has really not seen all too much action, and the volume is still very low. We're just seeing this decline in volume. So we're still consolidating right now. And I noticed that a lot of people got super bearish all of a sudden when we saw this slightly lower low. And guys, I just want to stress the point that you need to step back sometimes and look at things from a bigger picture. And you got to stop caring about these small little movements, guys. They really don't mean much in the long term. Unless, if you're leverage trading, then you're on your own. For those of you that are doing risky leverage trades, I mean, that's a whole nother thing. You guys can get wiped out on very small moves. But generally, guys, don't be too concerned about these small movements. Something we discussed in one of my previous videos was the 10-week EMA, the purple 10-week EMA, and the blue 21-week EMA. And what I said was, as long as we're above these two key moving averages, then I'm going to remain bullish on Bitcoin, because being above these moving averages is generally a bullish sign in the past, and being below them is generally a bearish sign in the past as well. So if we're above the 10-week EMA and the 21-week EMA, I'm going to remain bullish on Bitcoin, despite people freaking out about this tiny little dump that we saw. Really, guys, we're just consolidating. We're still seeing a decline in volume. This consolidation is still in play. We have not seen a breakout yet. And again, what I was saying was, above the 10-week EMA, things are still bullish. I get a little bit more bearish if we break below it. The 21-week EMA, though, is going to be my final indication that if we can't hold the 21-week EMA, this blue line here, then at that point, I become more bearish on the market, and I could see us testing down to 7,700, potentially 6,400. Taking out the fib retracement tool from swing low to swing high, if we look at the price level that the 382 comes in at, it's around 7,900 actually. Although looking at this area right here, this previous support resistance zone, around 7,700. We found a lot of support here in 2019 and also a lot of resistance here in 2019. So the next major downside target is going to most likely be in between 7,700 and 7,900 about. That's what I would be looking for in the next major test to the downside. Despite the short-term lower lows, we are still maintaining a general higher low consolidation here. We're holding above the 10-week EMA, we're holding above the 21-week EMA, and we're just squeezing in with this multi-year resistance, guys. So from a macro perspective, despite social media getting really bearish all of a sudden out of nowhere for like a small move to 8,800, despite all that noise, the macro trend is still really the same as in my past videos. We're still consolidating. Nothing has really changed. So I'm still remaining bullish on Bitcoin. And the volume right now is showing that we have not resolved the consolidation. If we see a breakout, very likely at that point, you're going to see a spike in volume. If we see a breakdown below these key moving averages, you're also going to see a spike in volume, most likely. We need to be looking out for when this volume trend, this downward sloping volume trend, when does this change? When do we get a breakout in volume here? In which direction is the market moving? That's going to set the impulse for the next major trend. If the S&P can create a higher low and push to the upside, Bitcoin may be looking for potential breakout within the next week. If the S&P can't hold these levels and things get a little bit more bearish, then the sentiment for the Bitcoin market might get more bearish. So we'll have to see, guys. We're still consolidating and nothing has really changed. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and also sign up for the CryptoWatch platform, which is the platform you guys see me use in all of my videos. You can actually chart and trade off of all the top exchanges, all from this platform. The tutorial that's popping up on the screen right now is going to show you guys how to get set up with the platform. And I'll see you guys in the next video.